Cronin. I will open the meeting. We do have a quorum present. I will turn it over to Matt.
All right. Update on the 14 Sharon Ave project. Today, they're painting the lines and striping the parking lot, which was recently paved. We're going to finish up in the exterior with landscaping next week, weather dependent. That will comply with all the provisions on our temporary occupancy from the planning board for the site. So we will have final occupancy issued. We still do not have building occupancy due to paperwork not being filed, and there were some safety concerns which we've had addressed, but we're at a holding pattern right now until people, the different contractors, comply with contract documents and state building code. We had some really big issues that were happening in as far as the HVAC, as far as building safety, which are all addressed at this point. We have a punch list, and it's been getting picked away at every once in a while. But still don't have occupancy. We're hoping to have occupancy very soon. We have temporary now, but we do not have permanent. So as of right now, the police have not started really moving in because not proper to yet. The general contractor is all over this at this point. There's been a lack of communication from different parties involved, so we're trying to get everybody on board with the MEPs, so they'll sign off, so therefore the building committee or the building commissioner would be able to sign off after the final inspections. See, in other items we had, we've started maintaining the building as far as from a facility standpoint, and we're also charging our lease to the MEC. We've been maintaining it for the last 2 months, doing our daily duties. So there's income coming in to the town, which is a good thing. That seems to be working out well. They've been very happy from the feedback I've received. We had the open house that everybody's aware of. I thought that went very successfully. Thank you to the John Primpus and the Dunkin' Donuts group around here. They were able to get Dunkin' Donuts corporate to donate the coffee and donuts, which were appreciated. Some big issues going on still is that with the finances of it, where the we still have some base contract left to pay, and we've been getting in some change orders, which we've been going through. The one item that's been really held over our heads is the existing or extenuating conditions that Griffin Electric had been wanting to charge us. Todd and I have worked with their management team. We've already knocked down their initial number by over $65,000, and they're working on another revised number, anticipating that to be less than half of what we were originally expecting, which was about 150. So we're still in negotiations for that. We have good things inside is that we have the furniture in. That came out great. The technology department has the phone system up and running. We're doing some training. The IT and security of the building, they're doing training for the operators of the system. We've done other trainings from the electrical, the HVAC controls. We're still waiting on some other items. We do have occupancy allowed for the state for the cells so we can lock up people. We're compliant for that. So that's kind of where we're standing at right now. We're just waiting to get our occupancy permit finalized. As far as other items is for the building is we have an application payment. Application payment number 20 in the amount of $180,691.12. This includes the base bid plus it had an additional $9,605.39, which had been an approved change order from the previous building committee meeting. So I'm, I guess, making a motion to approve application number 20 in the amount of $180,691.12.
That is for what?
That is the base bid contract for the building,
To be paid to.
to be paid to BC Construction, which would leave us with the remaining balance, including retainage, of 316,528.18, which is,
316, 528.
yes, sir, 18 cents. But this is base bid contract. You must put $9,000 added to it for a change order for the, we'd already voted on the change order, but the change order was for the buck boost transformer for the septic, which wasn't done. And also,
Which change order was that, Matt?
it was change on order number 16.
Which one was it again?
It was change order number 16, and the amount was for $9,605.39.
Okay. Todd, you okay with it?
I am.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion?
Maybe I'll second the motion that you're gonna call, because you're the chairman, right?
Doesn't matter, but feel free.
No,
You got the gun.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I was remiss in not introducing Blythe Robinson, you get a lot of introductions these days, Blythe.
I do.
Who is our town administrator. By our bylaw, the town administrator is automatically a member of this board, so therefore she is now, unfortunate for her, a formal member of this board, so welcome.
Thank you.
The permitting. Bob, is it just the certificates that's in the way?
Yeah, this is controlled construction, so until they're prepared to give us the affidavits from each of the engineers, my hands are tied. Each one of the inspectors doesn't sign off a final until they have the certificate from that engineer, so. Like electrical, he's not gonna sign it off until he has the electrical engineer's affidavit, so.
I know the trail of emails that you've had the last week, roughly, indicate there's no issues with getting these, but it just seems like it's a tooth extraction.
Yeah, Mr. Humes has been very quiet in this whole process. I don't know why, but everything flows through his office to the engineers and then back to his office. And he's the one who forwards these certificates to us, so I'll reach out to him again, this week and.
I spoke with the general contractor, and he's going to be providing the town a list of the dates. Everything has been submitted and resubmitted, because they felt, and it's a one-sided, all I'm hearing is one-sided, they felt that everything that was supposed to be turned in had been turned in, and once the general contractor provides it to the architect, the MEPs all work for the architect, so he felt that they had, for my one-sided only, felt that they had fulfilled their obligation. So he's resending everything directly to the MEPs now.
Okay. The saga continues.
But the bigger problem is until we have the sign-off, we cannot get liability or any insurance on that building. So that's where the big problem lies, is we can't.
So we still under the contractor's insurance?
That's how we have it addressed, set up with them, as they're paying for it right now, but it's not designed, it's a construction site right now. So until we get that, we can't go to Maya and say, hey, please cover us so we can.
Move in.
Guess? I mean, the dispatch is scheduled to go live May 6th for Norfolk.
Yeah, and at that point, I would just issue another temporary, honestly, giving them more ability to move in. I can't issue that final occupancy until I get those certificates.
So if the certificates are held up for whatever reason, known only to man, you will issue the temporary so that they can go live May 6th.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
It's unfortunate it's taken this long. I mean, this really should have been done over a month ago, but I don't know. You can't only twist the arm so much and,
Well, it's a well-established pattern.
yeah.
Yeah. So when are you going to move?
when Bob gives us permanent occupancy. I keep saying that, because I don't want to be the cause of anything going south with that, so when he gives it, we'll move.
So where does it stand with 911 now?
So they're still using the building. Right now, there's 3 full-timers, and they have a couple of dispatchers that are been coming and going from there. They are set up to go live. That is a firm date,
May 6th?
May 6th.
And each town one day thereafter.
Yes. And
I'll
it-
reach out to Humes again and just see where he's at with it.
And there's so many cutoff dates that, like, we've been, as everybody knows, this is well beyond where it was supposed to be at, and we've already moved everything multiple times. So the phone systems, it's great if they don't go in. If they don't go in, they're not gonna have phones necessarily down at 117 any longer, because they're all going up to 14 Sharon. Because you have to plan this out months in advance. So we already were able to catch it before when we learned it wasn't gonna go, but we have to go.
Jim, I'll just give you one easy example why we're not moving until Gibbs, because number one, he said it before, insurance. We're on the contractor's insurance. He's not planning on us bringing a prisoner in. If something goes south there, then it's on the contractor's insurance, not the town's,
Oh, I understand.
and we can't do it. I won't say yes.
Oh, no, I don't fault you at all, Chuck. No,
That's the simplest one I can
yeah,
get.
I agree.
It's a shame that, again, it was a
How-
breakdown.
How close are we to having final reconciliation on costs? I could get dizzy going left or right.
As soon as we get occupancy, you'll have final reconciliation.
Say that again?
As soon as you have occupancy, you'll have final reconciliation.
We keep getting change orders that we're having meetings next week about.
I know,
because
yeah.
We're still waiting for Griffin, all those final numbers. So there's quite a few unknowns
And
still.
I know what my paving costs are. I don't know what my asphalt's going to cost. I don't know what my landscaping is going to cost yet. I know what my striping is going to cost. So we'll be able to, probably within $50,000 when once we get occupancy, we'll know. I'd feel comfortable saying that.
Well, didn't we just get a bill for December and get January through April?
So I've set up.
General conditions, you mean?
No. I have a meeting with the general contractor. Todd and I are going to sit down with him next week because there's a couple of things that came up which I don't feel are just. So we've had these meetings before. Try to knock it down or come to an agreement or get rid of it altogether. We had a lot of, we did a lot that wasn't part of our scope, with the understanding that some of the stuff that wasn't necessarily part of their scope. It was a very good working relationship, but it's changed a little bit. So we're gonna sit back down and finalize it, because some of the stuff it's not gonna pay for, so,
Like the mailbox.
yes. So that's where we're at. So we have blessing to pay this?
We had we did not take a vote, did we?
We started to, but I didn't hear unanimous.
I don't think we took a vote. I think we had it in discussion. So any further discussion?
2 seconds.
We did take a vote?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good.
Wow, this is not a good sign.
All right,
It's unanimous.
all right.
All right,
I did this out of order. When Blythe first started, I asked her to sign this form, but I realized after the fact that we haven't voted on it, so I wasn't gonna process it. We don't process it anyway, because it goes into this, but,
you didn't hear
Don't
that.
trust Matt.
this is actually, excuse me, I misrepresented the last change order, what was included in the last change order. That was, I can go get it, I don't have it with me. This change order
Is
is
this
for,
the March, was this on the March 2nd sheet?
this is on the, we haven't seen this one. May I see it? No. No, this is for that sewage ejector pump wiring and the, holding tank alarm. We had voted the last one, I can go,
Try that one.
Yes, this is the last one we did. The last one was for the 3 condensate pumps, mailbox increase for manufacturer, buck boost transformers to the DOAS systems. That's where I got them. This is also buck boost transformers because the voltage is different in that area. This is snow guards. This is what we already approved. So moving on to this one for the amount of $5,077.07. It's for T&M work, which we approved at the site, for Griffin to wire in buck boost transformer so the sewage ejector would work. And also, we had to install a secondary alarm in our holding tank for gray water, which is a Massachusetts code item, which wasn't on the drawing, so we had them do that as well. So I make a motion to approve, which we're not going to pay for this yet, but just to approve this change order in the amount of $5,077.07 for work that I personally authorized per the board's permission, because it had to be done.
And this is in addition to 83R, which was the 2 buck boost
Yes, sir.
transformers. Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second again.
Any further discussion? Todd, you're okay?
I am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. Meeting minutes. We've been getting a lot of meeting minutes accomplished. Thank you to Stephanie Ackley, who's watching this and will be doing the meeting minutes. So I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the meeting January 9th of 2018, May 1st, 2018, June 19th, 2018, July 10th, 2018, and August 7th, 2018.
And you have reviewed them.
Yes.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain. I wasn't here yet.
Good decision.
That is it for the
Okay.
police station.
Fire station.
Fire station, hasn't been much going on.
Well, we gotta get something going on.
The architect came to us and he wanted to make some amendments to his contract.
Is this result of the conversation we had that day?
It does. To date, we've paid $54,000 in architectural fees, design fees, of a $360,000 contract. We have more invoices for design work that we felt wasn't just and didn't pay it yet. There are some revisions that if we want to continue moving forward with him, that he wants to have put in an amendment. I can give a highlighted oversight of it. Something that I've pushed for is our weekly meetings, which is part of his contract, which he doesn't want to do, so we'd have to accept that he does not want to do twice, every weekly, it'd be twice per month. Keeping the same price of the overall design fee, a couple of things that he wanted to do is put in there that we are planning on demolishing it, so that would change the scheme of how it's going to be done. So he wanted to make sure that he had no responsibility for the temporary relocation or any of the temporary facilities, which is absolutely fine. I was also looking to have a different MEP, because we've had problems with the RDK than NB5. So he proposed to use a company that was also part of this job, but a smaller, which only did the civil, which was GGD, Garcia. But continuing forward, he wants to, if we're going to go forward with them, he wants to make sure that we sign this amendment. So, and until we sign the amendment, we're not seeing pretty much anything on the fire station as it sits right now.
Have you sent that to council?
I have not I've sat on that at this point.
I think that would be a good thing to
Recommend
do.
that you send it to council?
Yes, please.
Okay. So besides that, we haven't, since our last meeting, had any discussions on the fire station design or exploration of what further we need to do as far as relocation. So we're on a holding pattern right now.
Well, if everyone's agreeable, I'd like to initiate that conversation. Cole and Peter, is this plan still reasonably hold?
The only problem we have is there isn't any room for file cabinets. That's been,
Only problem you have one?
we don't have any room for record storage. That hasn't been identified. That was the only thing that I had on my list. I mean, the facility contains everything that we've looked for. It contains everything to ensure that current and future needs will be met. Just concerned where we put the stuff, the records.
Well, you've got two storage rooms here, one identified as furniture and one identified as general. I don't know, are they
That's-
anything specific? You have a
My
general
glasses
storage
don't
area
see
here.
this.
You want to borrow these, Coach? And you have a furniture one. Now, I can't read upside down, but it's here, I think. Now, that's not much space. This
Yeah.
is a big room.
Kind of storage.
That's a good-sized room.
Right, that's gonna have all the breathing apparatus and the compressor in there, so that'll be taken.
What's
And
this?
This is gonna be for all the general fire storage.
Wouldn't that be for compressors and all of that stuff?
No, that's gonna be on this side. This'll have the cascade, have the workbench for all our SCBA, any,
So
bottles.
should these rooms be flipped?
No, it's not gonna make a difference where they go. My just concern is, if we put all our records out here, then every time Marie has to file something, she's coming out in the apparatus bay because we're in the apparatus bay.
How
right now.
much records do you have?
We've got quite a bit. It's, in various
I
locations.
mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
I mean, lots of file cabinets. And a lot of them are out in the apparatus bay now. Most of them are in my office. There's some in the hallway. I'm just concerned how the layout is gonna go, where that stuff will end up. We can't go in Marie's office because her desk will probably be around here. We've got a small area in here for some. In the chief's office and deputy's office, you could probably put a few, but looking at all the property files for all the permits and inspections, if you have plans, where the plans are gonna go, that's the only thing that's in there that.
Okay, where's the police presence, Chuck? Is it here?
It's up in the front, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're good with that?
We've, by agreement, come up that it's gonna be for triage and then.
Right.
Police room, hopefully it's, not at the same time, but. I'm sure we'll get
Hopefully,
that.
yeah.
What they call their walk-ins.
I think the other thing that we had discussed was that amount of square footage is what we were looking to meet the number at the time, the amount of money or potentially. we're
Correct.
looking at. So I think that plan is probably still to a point where we can make adjustments.
Well, you can move walls.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a
That's-
tear down, so you can move walls. It's, as long as we don't change the box, we're okay. Yeah, okay.
But I think the one thing we were waiting for with Brian, and then obviously this has occurred, but, these contract issues or whatever, is we were waiting for that. He was gonna provide us with a number, cost
Well, we
estimates.
got a guesstimate from him on March 2nd. And, Matt, I think you're the one that made some revisions to this. I know under the demolition component, he had 82, you're thinking closer to 200,000.
Sir.
Site improvements, he had 454, you're thinking 750. If I miss any, you tell me. Data and telephone, he had 50,000, you say that's crazy, it's 300. Vehicle exhaust capture system, 200. Moving expense relocation, a guess, 100. That's the number you gave before. 3, 6. So that comes out to about with a 10% contingency, it comes out to about 7.4. With your numbers.
Yes, sir.
So that is our challenge, is we're gonna have to go to a town meeting in hopefully November to get the difference. Whatever the reconciliation tells us we have, we know it isn't gonna be 7.4. This was originally thought to be a $4.5 million project, but it's almost 2 years behind now.
Well, and if the drawings aren't done, then how long do we need from, if we got a positive vote in November, how long to finish that, when to go out to bid, you know, how much escalation do we need to add to that base
Another 10%.
to when we can actually start. It sounds like we need to sort out what we do with this architect's contract, and we need to do the reconciliation before we start spending, I think, any money figuring out. We've got time before November, but I think we've got to do those two things before we can really put forth a plan that we can educate people about and try to get that positive vote.
Well, we have time to do that
Yep.
between now and November.
I'm just saying,
Usually,
I'm just talking through the steps I think we need to take,
then
given
it's-
the-
It's 60 days for a ballot,
understand?
because this would have to be an excluded debt.
Well, we need to work on what that needs to be. I mean, I'm sure Todd knows more than I do about it, because he's been working out, quite a long time, but I think we have to look at all that and decide how we would structure it and make sure we can.
We've done that.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah, no, I know. We've done that, and we've looked at both sides, inside and out.
okay.
And I think Todd would nod his head, yes, that this has got to be outside. The good news is that the timing of it is such that the schools are pretty much done. The middle school and the high school are off the books pretty much when this would go on the books. Because it would be at least 3 years out before it hit the books. I think we figured 2022, didn't we?
Does the 7.4 include any borrowing costs and bans and everything, get us through to a final financing? Is there that in the budget as well? Is this just, are you just talking
Talking
construction?
Basically construction.
Okay,
costs.
so we need to look at the total project costs.
Yep, we agree.
Okay. So I think we've got our homework to do.
Well, that's the first piece over there, is to decide what to do with that, and if you want to agree with that. And as
Well-
TA said, we want to take it to town council, see if he would be able to support
Well,
that.
this is consistent with what we had that meeting on, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So there's nothing really, is there anything, I mean, you are a
The-
far
the-
better judge of this.
It's the same price.
Right,
You're
which
not
was
asking for an
critical.
increase in price.
Yeah,
That is the biggest driving factor. One might say a little bit less services but he doesn't want to visit, but we never enforce that anyway. And it's completely up to the committee we've had our dealings, and so.
well, think throughout to Blythe's point, just without being too specific, just think in terms of the timing. We normally have around a November, mid-November fall meeting, so 15th for lack of another date. Between now and then, the necessary work can clearly get done. We have plenty of time to do the financial, well, first the reconciliation, but that should be within 30 days, right? So we'll know what we have left versus what we need. So we'll, and then you've got the additional cost, so it's probably going to be another $500,000 over whatever we think, because there are going to be some contingencies and some timing of this. So if we're in a position to get the vote in November, assuming a positive vote, and I believe it has to be 30-some-odd days before you can hold the election? if I remember.
35.
35, all right, so, and you don't want to do it on Christmas,
No.
so it'd be in January, so let's just say 60 days for lack of another date. So that gets us in mid-January. And assuming that passes, then you sign the contract with the, because we have to do that beforehand.
We need to decide.
The
what we-
documents, I've forgotten how long they take, do you remember? 90 days?
At least around 90 days.
90 days for bid documents. We have to finalize the relocation plan and the potential costs associated. The relocation plan is
I
the
understand.
DPW.
And the timing of how everything has to happen.
Yep.
And do we need to bring on a new OPM for this project, or are we going to try and do it in-house? How are we going to do that?
Well, I mean, I guess I have a strong opinion on that. What has turned this project around,
I understand,
quite
I
frankly, was
understand.
getting rid of the OPM.
One,
And Matt has done a phenomenal job, so I would
I'm not
recommend-
disagreeing with any of that. I'm just asking the question because it's required over a project over $1.5 million, so
I would recommend that it be in-house. Bob has the appropriate licenses to do it.
I would still want to go through all that.
That's your call. Yep. So that takes us to, all right, so with luck, we'd be starting this project in the spring of next year.
For us to go to fall time.
If everything goes right, we'd be in the June, July cycle of starting construction.
When is fall town meeting?
November. January vote,
So it's
90
like
days, so you've got
second week.
March, April, May, so actually it'd probably be closer to August.
So we play this out, we sign, we stay with him. 3 months from now would be, so it's April, May, June, July, mid-July. Call it August,
Yeah, it'd be August.
put it out to bid, couple of weeks, then review the bid, so you should have numbers pending funding, yeah, that would work for, okay.
Sound about right?
Mhm.
To you as well?
From what little I know, yes.
From best guesstimates, yeah.
Well, based on what we've just gone through. Okay. So then, another question, come on. Another question that we need to work out is what do we need to do between now and that time to not have the torrential rains falling through your building while you're still there? Don't answer it now, but I mean, that's a question that we have to put on the table, is what has to get done to make that place okay, to get us through this next year and a half? Because that's about what it is.
That small piece, well, I wanna call it small, but it's the flat roof that goes over their side and ours is where it leaks all the time. And they've recently done some work in the outer office in Cole's area. But we still have, I don't know, 4 or 5 spots, anyway, that it still pours through the roof on a heavy rainstorm, so.
So the roof is shot, and
Yeah.
I've had it repaired and repaired and repaired, but every time they go up there, it causes more damage. It's
Right.
just disintegrating as you walk on it. So the only way we're gonna solve it, there's 2 options. We can have it coated, which might work, or we could have another rubber roof laid down. Problem is, if we do another rubber roof on it,
Well, that's throwaway money.
well, and also, you can't really do it on top of another rubber roof, so we'd have to kind of bring up that section to code, because you can't just throw a piece of rubber over it, and so
So forget that option.
so we could try spraying it. There's mixed reviews on spraying him. Some people say it extends the roofs and it makes all the problems go away. It's kind of like a Flex Seal.
I was just gonna say that.
We've had the discussion in my department many times. We should just go buy a pallet of
A
Flex
bunch
Seal
of,
and
a
go
bunch of
up there.
cans and go up there
Yes.
and do it, huh?
I priced out the material for us to do it in-house, and it was over $6,000, but that's using in-house labor. I think it would be more appropriate, being that it's in downtown, and it's going to be, it's a heavy material, but it could still travel, and I'd rather have somebody have insurance that if they're going to start spraying up there and start sticking into people's cars and stuff, that we don't own it. So I would guess we're probably looking at $10,000 to have it recoated, and that would probably buy us some time. Or if we wanted to do a new roof on it without doing a lot of upgrades, I think it'd be $20,000 to $25,000 just. But if we had to get involved with changing it out, once we expose it all, we'd have to bring it up to today's code in that area, which should be, with the insulation and everything, pricey. So,
You know the roof pretty well too. What's your 2 cents on it? Just to get us through a couple of years.
Well, is it really gonna be a couple of years? Because if it's.
Hopefully it'll be a
if you're
year.
gonna look
Well,
at
hopefully it'd be less,
construction-
but I'm, just, you can't have it the way it is.
No, but if you're gonna move out of there in a year and demo the building in a year, which is the first thing that's gonna happen there, then you're talking about 1 year.
Well, it's probably gonna be longer than a year.
Not much.
I thought we were talking about June, July next year would be,
Well, it
latest.
could be, yeah, okay, could be, yeah.
if you're looking at 1 year, is there a way of, once police moves out, put them all into one area that's, a dry section of the roof and section off the other part? I'm just, it's instead of spending
We don't want
a
to
whole
throw away
lot of
money. We don't want to throw away money.
No, and I got that, Bob, and I can tell you, it leaks by the booking desk, it leaks in the men's locker room, leaks in the female locker room. It leaks over the dispatch printers. It leaks in the 911 room, which will be vacated shortly, other than they have computer equipment in there for their stuff.
You know, there isn't any plans that we're gonna move into any of the existing part of the building. We're gonna stay just in the office, 2 offices that are there. If we're gonna do that, can we just pull all the ceilings out, and do the minimal repairs we could and hold on?
Well, where it's leaking, it's all concreted precast.
Yeah.
So it's not a mold issue
Yeah, no.
for
Yeah,
anything
it's-
over there where we're having the issues at.
If you look over the booking desk hole, it's
Yeah.
that cement slab.
Yeah, so,
So it wouldn't be worth taking your office and moving over into Chuck's office and Marie into Debbie's office, where that's all a pitched roof, and then you just shut down the other section of it? other
you still have to
than-
get to the apparatus bed.
Other than the hallway going out to the apparatus area. And that's it.
Pete, what's your thoughts on that?
No. I mean, the problem just keeps getting worse. It's been, I mean, the leaks that we had at the office this past winter.
That was the worst,
That's
15,
crazy.
yeah.
But
But it was in the hallway and
It was
outside.
everywhere,
But
it
it was
was
also
everywhere.
in Marie's office, just got really bad.
Well, that's what.
And that's all new. It always leaked, but it got
Never like,
exponentially worse.
never like that.
And then the problems, I think, that you saw in the computer room were, that was crazy.
Oh, and the 911 computer? room?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had sheets
You had to
up
tarp it.
to make sure it didn't affect that.
Well.
The only other part,
The thing that you're talking about is you replace the roof and put a new rubber roof down.
and the other
Well,
part is.
And that's not all. If you're gonna tell them to move into my office, then they're gonna, the same thing he's done in his office,
We-
you gotta put a new heater.
Yeah, there's no HVAC on that side at all. At least
Well, in
the-
mine
yeah.
anyways, it doesn't work, so.
At least on our side, we got HVAC that works.
I don't think he needs to move out of his office.
Ray's office, I thought was repaired.
We'll see the
The
next.
ceiling tile and the insulation, I
Yeah,
don't know
we'll
if
see
the
how the
roof
next rain
actually.
goes.
Well, it rained torrentially this last weekend.
It definitely came through.
I
I mean,
thought-
if those,
problem-
if those rooms are solid, I mean, we'll stay, I think the option would be to stay where we are, as opposed to moving. And then whatever else is done, it rains, you've gotta clean it up and pull just take all the ceiling tiles down and remove any mold
Some of the
issue.
important stuff is gonna be moving out May 6th, May 7th.
I mean, the only other alternative is to, move your offices up to the town hall or something for the time being, while we still have the trailer for the rest of the guys down there. We do that for the year.
That's a tough management issue, I wouldn't want.
Yeah, but I
I'm
would-
just throwing out
Yeah.
ideas.
I know.
think that, I mean, I'm not speaking for all the guys, but I speak for myself. I know that if there's light at the end of the tunnel, these issues, obviously, there may be some repairs are a lot more palatable.
Mm.
Well, if we've got to set up another place for the whole department to go to, down at the DPW, was that, if we figured in money to do some work down there, to actually create offices down there for the time being, or anything else like that?
The way we've based what we're guessing right now, or not guessing, a little research has been done, educated guessing, is bringing in 2 trailers and modifying the existing vehicle storage bay to accommodate electric and water. Electric and water
Air.
and air and
Well, we can't come to a solution on any of these things today, but what we can come to agreement on is what the next steps are and within what timeframes and who owns it. We can agree to that.
Can I
And
just ask a question? I just want to back up before you get, so if I understand this right, are you guys talking about like us still working out of the building that's leaking, like with mold and like still working out of this building with it leaking? Or closing it off and, I know you were moving on, I don't mean to interrupt.
I think the point Matt made was,
Just wanna see
and
where
Chuck
we-
said the same thing, with the concrete, the opportunity for mold in those areas is pretty nil, because it's coming right through. If we take all the ceiling tiles out, then that removes that entirely. Yeah, there'll be water there, but, right, as Pete said, right now it hasn't affected the 2 offices that are occupied there, and there's no plan to move over on the police side.
So just
put up tarps and whatever leaks, just let it leak and.
Well, you got facilities, you know.
Mike, we don't have the answers, but,
I
yeah.
and I don't mean to interrupt, I
Good
know
questions.
you're moving on.
What we're trying to figure out is, and we won't figure out today, is what needs to get done for a period of a year to 12 or whatever period of time it takes to get us into a position where we start to demolish that building. Because, you know, you still got to be there for some period of time, and we want to minimize that time, but we're trying to figure out what we need to do to make it as tolerable as we can. We don't have all those answers. I wish we did.
Right, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm
Oh, it's
sorry,
okay, Mike, it's okay. You know better, come on.
Bashful Mike,
Huh?
bashful Mike.
I'm bashful, Mike. Come on, he's a hockey fan, he's okay. I wrote down 5 things, and if anybody chips in and tell me if I'm wrong, right, or modify. But we have 4 months, assuming the warrant is usually closed around mid-September. We have 4 months to do a complete financial analysis so that we have more accurate cost numbers, both reconciliation and future costs. Contract review and execution of that contract. A firmer plot out of timetables in terms of how this might play out if things go well and what happens if things don't go well. Consideration of temporary repairs for a period of time at the lowest possible cost because it's throwaway money. And then a more detailed analysis of the relocation and subsequent costs associated with that. Did I miss anything
Pretty comprehensive.
between now and the next 4 months? So who owns what? You and Matt have to own the financial piece.
I'll take care of fixing the roof.
Pardon?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll help him.
I'll work with Mr. McGee. I'll own the relocation analysis because we've already gotten pretty detailed into that.
I'll focus on the contract with Matt and
Super.
Todd.
Super. And Bob, you and Matt maybe on the temporary repairs, think through options in terms of what we might or might not have to do to make that thing, so Mike doesn't have to swim his way to the truck.
May not be an option.
What have we missed for next steps in this? Matt?
So we're gonna go to town meeting. No, I'm sorry, we're good, sorry. We don't need to have it out to bid because we can use the project's estimated cost to go to town meeting with for estimated budget,
Based on,
based on,
not necessarily where the walls are, but based on their square footage.
but have a detailed. And so
Correct.
We're doing with the MSBA, a very detailed, and we
Correct.
should be very close to what's going to be.
The real number. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so we have next steps.
I will forward this to town council on the completion of the meeting.
Well, Blythe is gonna take the lead on that, I think, right?
Send it to both of us,
Okay.
please.
Any other thoughts, discussions? You guys, anything? Pete? Cole?
Good.
Okay, any other business? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have next steps. I'll outline this.